This is a perfect example of the erosion that occurs with the cliffs along the east coast of Australia. Mostly all sandstone and shale. When the tide's at high tide and the wind's coming in and it's bashing against these rocks, it all erodes at a rapid rate, a lot faster than anywhere else in Australia. So what you get is all this erosion coming down, falling onto the beach here, forming sand on the beach. But what you also get is a depletion of the land. It starts to move in. Once this is all eaten away, it forms a big flat platform. And that big flat platform starts to grow sea life. And that's what we're going to have a look at as well, the high and low tide marks and the animals that live in that area. Okay, what I'm going to do is walk up to what they call the high tide mark up here, and this is where you'll find seaweed that's been washed off the rocks out off the headland there, where the rocks drop into deeper ocean. It's broken off and washed up onto these rocks here, and what we've got is obviously seaweed that grows off those rocks just out the front of us, called the Philospora camosa, and it's called that. The other name for it, common name, is called bubbleweed, and grows on the rocks just as the rocks dip into deeper ocean. This weed hangs on, bubbles on it so it can float, get closer up to the surface, so that obviously it grows faster. Where what you call up here the high tide mark and also the splash zone is where the water goes up furthest and then hits these rocks and splashes up to the side, and you'll get these little, they're periwinkles, and they're like a cone-shaped periwinkle, not the flat one which we'll show you shortly. The cone-shaped ones stay up further up to this zone, and this is where they grow. The flatter ones, they're down closer to the water's edge where it starts to roll in, and they're flatter so they can suck harder on the rock. These guys don't need to suck as hard on the rock as those guys because they're not copping the pounding all day long. So let's go down and have a look at them. Here we have a colony of periwinkles, and these guys, they're not all huddled together because they're one big happy family. They're huddled together to conserve moisture, because where they're situated is about halfway down this zone, where they're exposed to this low tide for about 3.5 to 4 hours. One thing I didn't mention was the tidal in between high and low tide on the south coast of Australia is about a 6-hour exchange. So in between high and low you've got 6 hours. These guys are hanging in here for about 3.5 hours. So they need to conserve their moisture. They huddle together like this so that they can conserve their moisture. So if any moisture does run out, it runs into the guy next to it. Hence, any moisture running down, they all get a bit of. These are called flat limpets, and believe it or not, they're actually a relative of the common snail that you find in the garden in Australia. They say they're not a true limpet, but they call them a limpet. So, and what they do is they suck on harder, these guys, and they suck on harder because they're down here in this zone. But I'm going to see if I can. Got him. Now that's a hard thing to do because they usually suck on hard, real hard. But what they will do is sometime during the day, on intervals, they'll relax that suction to let a little bit of air in. So if you go down and see them, you'll see them just a little bit off the rock, and you can sometimes just pull them off. But I'll put him back on. But what I'll do here is, if I flash water on this guy and go like that, he'll stick on like cement. Watch this. There's no way he's coming off. So follow me, folks. Okay, we're at the zone now where the water sits at most of the day. So we're getting out towards the area where we've got to be a bit careful with this water coming in, but there's some kanji here that I want to show you. And it's right here. Now, for viewers who haven't been to Australia, this is an amazing growth that grows on the rocks of the east coast. What it does is it starts its life, believe it or not, like a little tadpole that's swimming in the ocean. And after a certain period of time, it clings to the rock. And then what it does, it starts to build this leathery skin around itself. And in the top of it here, in the top, it's just sucked in. It has these little holes like two crosses. And what it does is it filters the water that's coming into this area. So it's like the lungs of the ocean. And that's how it survives as well, because that's what it eats. It eats all the bacteria that it sucks in. So it sucks in through one hole, eats all the nutrients, all the bad stuff, anything that's in that water, and spits it out the other hole, like a filter. So these type of creatures are a must for the ecosystem that grows on the rocks of the eastern coast of Australia. So kanji's their name, commonly known as the squirter. See that? It's open. That's the water. See that? It's closed up. And you watch, it'll open back up straight away. Right there. See the mouth's open? That mouth's open. Watch this. Watch this. Closes straight up. That's a living animal. And one of the most important parts of the ecosystem of the coastline. Look. Watch this. Up. Gee, look at that. We've come inland from the beach where we were because I just wanted to show you this inland waterway. It's magnificent, absolutely pristine and beautiful. And you'll find these waterways up and down the east coast of Australia, just inland off the beach. These waterways are huge, and the amazing part about it is that there's hardly anyone here. And as I walk through the park, you'll see there's lots of facilities to be able to bring the family down here. Barbecues and seats. Oh, look at him. Look at him. Over my shoulder. We're spotting now a big, beautiful eagle right above us. He'd be looking straight at us. He's got something in mind. He can see something. He's just gliding. Look at him. Or her. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Geez, I wish I had a big fish down here. I'd see if I could coax him down. Look at that. That's what it's all about, guys.